Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Learnish. Today we will study about nutrition, which is of class 10 biology chapter life processes. I have already uploaded an introductory video on this chapter, so you can check it out. Also, I'll upload a new video in which we will study about respiration. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. So let's start. Nutrition. Living organisms need energy to do work and sustain themselves. This source of energy is food. So we need energy to do work, and that energy is being supplied to us by food. Now, what is the mode of obtaining food? That mode is called nutrition. Nutrition is of two types, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, the living organism, they make their own food, like in plants. In heterotrophic nutrition, living organisms depend on other organisms for their food. Like human beings, we depend on plants for our food. Heterotrophic nutrition is again divided into three types: saprotrophic nutrition, holozoic, and parasitic. In saprotrophic nutrition, which occurs in fungi, the food is digested or it is broken down outside the body of the fungi, and then it is absorbed by the fungi. It secretes digestive enzymes which break down the food outside the body. In holozoic nutrition, the organism ingests a solid organic matter. Parasitic nutrition, it occurs like in leeches, in which the organism sticks to other organisms. Like leeches, they stick to the skin of humans, and it sucks blood. So it derives nutrition from the blood of the human or any other animal. Coming to the detail of autotrophic nutrition, it is a process by which organisms synthesize their own food using simple inorganic substances. Now, what are those inorganic substances? They are carbon dioxide and water. Now, the autotrophic nutrition, it occurs in green plants and some bacteria. Those bacteria which have chlorophyll in their body, they can perform photosynthesis, and by this process, they can produce food. Now, photosynthesis, it is a process by which plants and some bacteria make their own food using carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll. So these four things, these are the four requirements of photosynthesis: carbon dioxide, which is taken through stomata from the atmosphere; water is absorbed by the roots from the soil; and in the presence of sunlight, it means photosynthesis occurs only in daytime; and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment which is present in leaves. Now, here is a reaction of photosynthesis. What happens here? 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of water combine in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to form C6H12O6. This is glucose. This is the food which is synthesized by plant. Now, some of the glucose is used by the plant for its for their requirements, and the remaining glucose, it is converted into sucrose and stored by the plant for future use. These two byproducts, oxygen and water, they are released through stomata to the atmosphere. So these byproducts, they are not needed, so they are released through stomata to the atmosphere. Now, what are stomatas? Stomatas are tiny pores present in leaves. Here is the structure of stomata. We can see that there is a stomatal pore which is guarded by the two bean-shaped cells called guard cells. Surrounding the guard cells are irregularly shaped subsidiary cells here. And guard cells also contain chloroplast. So it means guard cells are also able to perform the process of photosynthesis. Now, this was the structure. Coming to the function of stomata, it has two major functions: transpiration and gaseous exchange. Transpiration, it is a process by which the excess water which is present in plant, it is released through stomata, and gaseous exchange, the incoming and outgoing of carbon dioxide and oxygen, that is done through stomata. Now coming to the heterotrophic nutrition, it is a mode of nutrition in which organism depends on other organism for food, like in animals and human. It is of three types. In holozoic nutrition, the organism feed by ingesting solid organic matter, which is then digested and absorbed into the bodies. So like it occurs in human, and we ingest solid organic food, so that is digested inside our body. While in saprotrophic nutrition, it is digested outside the body of organism and then it is absorbed. The saprotrophic nutrition occurs in fungi. It feeds on dead and decaying matter. So wherever the dead and decaying matter is there, that we can find fungi over there. Now parasitic nutrition. In parasitic nutrition, the organism derive its nutrition from plants and animals without killing them. So they will not kill plants or animals. They will just derive the nutrition. Like leeches, they suck the blood of human. They derive the nutrition from the blood, but they do not kill humans. Cuscuta is an example of plant parasite. It is also called amar bale. Now coming to the human digestive system. Human digestive system is divided into two parts, alimentary canal and digestive glands. The alimentary canal starts from the mouth and ends to anus. Now between the mouth and anus there are modifications of this tube. So alimentary canal, it is a tube like structure which extends from mouth to anus, and in between this tube is modified to form stomach, small intestine, large intestine, etc. Now the digestive glands, which are helping in the digestion of food, they are salivary glands which are present in mouth, liver which secretes bile, pancreas which secrete pancreatic juice, and intestinal gland which secrete intestinal juice for digestion. Now how the digestion takes place? As soon as we eat food, we take it into our mouth. The teeth helps in grinding the food. Tongue, it mixes the food with saliva and helps in formation of bolus. Now the saliva, it contains enzyme which is called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase helps in partial digestion of starch to simple sugars. So complete digestion of carbohydrate do not take place. In mouth only partial digestion of carbohydrate takes place. Here we can see dental formula. This is dental formula of teeth, like 2, 1, 2, 3. 2 is for incisors, 1 is for canine, 2 for premolars, and 3 for molars. This is the dental formula for the half of the portion of the jaw. Now stomach has gastric glands which secrete these three substances, which are HCl, pepsin, and mucus. HCl, it kills germs in food, and because it is acidic in nature, it helps in activating pepsinogen to pepsin. So pepsinogen is secreted in stomach, and as soon as it comes in contact with HCl, it is converted into active pepsin. Pepsinogen is initially in inactive form, so it converts into pepsin, which is active form. Pepsin has a function to break down protein into simpler peptides. Mucus, it protects the inner wall of the stomach from corrosive action of HCl, because HCl is very harmful, so it can corrode the wall of inner stomach and intestine. So mucus protects the stomach by lining over the inner wall. After the digestion of food in stomach, Mainly in stomach, protein digestion takes place. Then the food is passed on to small intestine. In small intestine, these three substances, bile, pancreatic juice, and intestinal juice, helps in complete digestion of food. Now bile, which is secreted by liver, it provides basic medium for pancreatic juice to act. So in stomach, HCl मिक्स हो जाता है फूड से, तो फूड एसिडिक हो जाता है. So in that acidic pH, pancreatic juice is not able to work. So for pancreatic juice to work effectively, basic medium is required, and that basic medium is provided by bile. Another function of bile is emulsification of fat. Now emulsification of fat means fat in stomach, it is present in form of large globules. So those large globules need to be broken down into small parts so that pancreatic lipase can effectively digest it. After emulsification of fat, pancreatic juice acts on it. Then the pancreatic juice, which is secreted by pancreas, it has two enzymes, trypsin and lipase. Trypsin helps in digestion of protein and lipase helps in digestion of fat. Basically, it breaks down the emulsified fat. Though the fat which is emulsified by the bile, that is acted upon by the pancreatic lipase. After the action of pancreatic juice, intestinal juice acts on the food, and here final chemical digestion occurs. What happens here? The complex carbohydrate is broken down to glucose, protein are converted into amino acid, fats are converted into fatty acid and glycerol. So these four forms, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol, they are the simple absorbable forms so that they can be easily absorbed into our bloodstream. Now in small intestine, complete digestion of food also takes place and complete absorption of nutrients also take place. Coming to the absorption part, it takes place in small intestine with the help of finger-like projection. There are small finger-like projections, numerous finger-like projections all over the inner wall of small intestine. They increase the surface area for absorption. They are called villi. So these finger-like projections, which are present all over the inner intestine, are called villi. They increase the surface area for absorbing food. These villi are richly supplied by blood vessels, blood capillaries, so that nutrients can get into the blood. Now the absorption has taken place in small intestine. The undigested food will pass on to large intestine. In large intestine, unabsorbed food reaches here, and excess water which is there in undigested food, that is absorbed. Now after the absorption of water, the remaining undigested food, that is passed on to anus. Now anus, its movement is regulated by anal sphincter. So this was all about the nutrition and human digestive system. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.